What's up, K-popers? It's been about a minute. We're going to talk about a topic here in this video, and that's on people who I admire and find, inspirational in K-pop. There are a lot of people, not a lot, but there are quite a few people that I find admirable, and I take inspiration from, like Michael Jackson, for instance, when it comes to music. For me, I draw inspiration from Michael Jackson, and Martin Luther King is another inspiration. But this one is just exclusively for people in K-pop. So there are no specific order or numberly order. But first off is Rain. I find Rain, one of the things I find really admire about Rain is that his love and his passion for music. Rain, I think his mother had passed away or something like that when he was a sophomore or senior in high school. Lost her at a young age, like cancer or something like that. And he even said himself that he would even get in trouble a lot in school, and he would fail, sometimes in school, because all he wanted to do was just dance and sing and break into the music scene. And JYP, I think he said himself that Rain had failed over 100 auditions before auditioning for JYP Entertainment, and JYP himself picking him out. So and then you look at Rain now, and Rain is one of the most successful soloists of all time in K-pop, but also a K-pop legend. So I really find it, that all the personal hell that he went through, Rain is, he is where he is today, and he's worked really hard. Another person I find admirable is JYP. JYP, I believe he said that he used to bounce around a lot from different companies. I believe he was part of a trio, a three-man boy band. They did from a couple of songs. I think the success was mediocre to just but they were kind of underground. And then JYP wanted to do his own thing. He branched off, and he tried various different companies and stuff. And I think he even said I think in 95 or 96 he auditioned for, at that time, a very young up and coming SM Entertainment. So I find that very interesting. If JYP auditioned for SM, how would that work? And we probably never even had JYP Entertainment. And I just wonder, the person at that time that rejected JYP and said no, I wonder, did any of them would ever think that he would go on to form one of the biggest companies, the competition, for their own company that they were building up at that time. So I find that very interesting. But I think he ended up finding one company, made his debut, and start making. I think his breakout song was Honey. I believe that was his breakout song, but I think he had another breakout song before that. But Honey was the first mainstream song of his that went mainstream. But anyway, long story short, he did what he had to do, became success. Started up his company. At the time, it was a supplementary, so it was JYP Entertainment was joined to another much bigger, larger company, and that's where he had God help God out, because God was the company that JYP was connected to. That was God's company. He had part rights to it or something like that. But he made God, and then started making his own artist, first being Rain. And since Rain, you look at where the company is now, in the big three in the industry. So I find JYP is inspirational. Another person I find inspirational, too, is Tiffany and Sooyoung of Girls' Generation. On Tiffany, more specifically, Tiffany she's a go-getter. She's a go-getter. Her passion and her drive to succeed in her goals, it is unfathomable. I have not seen anything like that in a while in any K-pop artist, especially today. It's just crazy, sick, insane. Whatever she lacks, she works twice, sometimes 3 times as hard, and even the other members say that sometimes she's a little bit too hard on herself, because she wants to perfect in whatever it is that she lacks in. And Because of her working very hard and whatever she may lack, she succeeds. It overcomes that trial or error that she may lack in. So I find Tiffany very inspirational, as well as her, kind of like Rain. She lost her mother at a young age. I think she was like 14 or something like that. And then, she came to Korea all by herself. Unlike Jessica, Jessica's family moved to Korea with her. So she came here by herself, and you look at her now. She's one of the part of one of the biggest girl groups in K-pop. And then another thing I admire about Tiffany along with Sooyoung is that they're really, from my perspective, for me being able to relate as a Christian, they're really strong in their faith and their belief in God and their Christianity. And I really admire that simple fact because, everybody, even celebrities here in Hollywood, they all, they all claim Christianity. But, it's like in the Bible says, Jesus says, don't be just hearers of the word, but be doers of the word also. How many people, say that they're Christians, but yet don't live the life, but they just say it because, that's one of the early religions that was found, based on our country, America. So they're just like, yeah, we're Christians, but they don't live the life. But that's not the case for Sooyoung and Tiffany. And I've seen countless times where with them, they're not just saying it with their lips. Like they're actually they're actual followers and believers of Christ. I've seen countless videos and whatnot of them and notes that they would say. They always give thanks to God. They always say that before they start their day, they always pray and read their Bible, and then when they end their day, they always pray before ending their day, and they always go to church together. And they always pray for the members before they get on stage and whatnot. So you definitely see the faith there. It's not just talk. So that's something I find admirable about both Tiffany and Sooyoung. Another person I find very admirable is Brave Brothers. Brave Brothers, I think he said himself, he didn't really go into detail, but he said he came from a checkered past. He said he used to get into a lot of trouble with the law. He has jail records. He said he used to be in and out of jail constantly. And the only thing that kept him grounded was his love and passion for music, making music, and support of his mother. And he said, all he wanted to do was make music, make good music, and make it, and the thing. That's the only thing that kept him on the path of, staying out of trouble. He said how a lot of people really didn't give him a chance. Nobody gave him a chance except for Han-suk. When Han-suk saw him, aka Papa YG, he saw young Han-suk and gave him a chance in 2004. And you go past 2004 and look where Brave Brother is now. He has started up his own company, Brave Entertainment, back in 2008. Has his own artist that he's under his company that he's building up. And he's one of the biggest, hit makers currently right now in the music scene. He's made countless of hit songs for, U-Kiss, Teen Pop, Sistar, Sun Dun Bi, After School, you name it, he's written it for them. So I really find his story the most admirable because, his past is really, he comes from a checkered past, and he's just a perfect example of how you really just can't judge a book by its cover. You can't, just because someone doesn't, look like they have money, or just because the situation that they may be in right now may not be that great. You don't know where a person may be, the next year, the next 10 years from now, the next day from now. Who you are today does determine who you'll be tomorrow or the day after that. So I find his story to be the most admirable to me, I think, out of all the people on this list. And then last but not least, person I find admirable is Lee Soo-man, the chairman, founder of SM Entertainment. I find him admirable because he had music experience, but I think it didn't take off anywhere. But I think when he was in college, he came here to America. It was back in like the mid '80s or something like that, and they said that at the time he came back in the '80s, the popular thing was MTV. And, Michael Jackson's Thriller, that was like the hottest thing. And he wanted to take something that was pop culture like that, but place it in Korea. And so he got his degree, finished up college, went back to Korea, started his own company, 20 years later, SM Entertainment is the biggest company in K-pop. And I just, I like the business mindset of Lee Soo-man, regardless of, how he, may run his artists like robots. I love the business mind of SM Entertainment and how he runs it. It's not just a company in Korea, but he's literally made it like a global company where it has connections outside of Korea and there's different branches and whatnot. I love to sit in a hour and a half to 2 hour long session just to pick his brain and learn from him. I really would love that. And I don't think a lot of people give Lee Soo-man credit or not, or maybe even think to get about it, but I think Lee Soo-man is a pioneer, and I think someone who I think he's a big person, someone who's made a big contribution to making the Korean culture more well known. Outside of the country, outside of their country. I don't think a lot of people probably give him credit for that. I think Lee Soo-man, his artist has a global star-like appeal. Whatever artist that comes from SM, they're from SM because they have that global star-like appeal. And I think it may not be like politically, you may not get the Korean culture out there, but I think from the music aspect and just his influence, his big influence in the music side of Korea, I think it's helped the Korean culture be more exposed to the masses globally. So these are just a few people who I find admirable and inspirational in K-pop. Who do you guys find inspirational or admire in K-pop or outside of K-pop? I might do a list of people who are not in the K-pop scene that I find admirable, but you let me know what you think in the comment box below. Subscribe. Peace.